Okay, so this is just a brief introduction, I suppose a bit about me and a bit about this course. I've meditated for about 23 years. 10 of those years I would have practiced twice a day, every day, and never missed a meditation for around 10 of those years. The reason I say that is I've meditated on planes, trains, airports, classrooms at college. I always found a place, and I suppose it's just to point out that if there's a desire or an intention to do this or to do anything, we can find a way. Otherwise, obviously, we can come up with plenty of excuses why not to do it. Or I'm too tired, or busy, or I'm not at home, or whatever. But if you really want to do it, you can find a place. It's doable. And also to point out that, there's a lot of crap around meditation about needing different things. It's like yoga or going to a gym. People think they need all this stuff. You don't really need any of this stuff. Some of these things can be helpful down the line, but don't bother about things. A lot of spirituality and a lot of self-help stuff gets wrapped up in junk. The junk doesn't help you develop. It's just stuff. It's your own intention and the actual practice that works. So the types of meditation that I would practice at the moment would be TM, Transcendental Meditation, Candle Focus, Gratitude, and I would use apps from phones. I would have dug through, and some work for me and some don't, so I dip in and out of different types. I'd use mantras, and I would do sun gazing when I would be out of Ireland, because there's not much sun in Ireland. So some of these I would find, probably all of them, in the right place. I would dip between them depending on, say, the time of day, my energy levels. I know myself well enough at this stage to know what I need at any given time, and sometimes I would need to meditate 4 times in a day. I would try to stick it to at least twice a day, but sometimes I just need to stop, and I know I need something else or something more. TM is taught by a Transcendental Meditation teacher, so I can't teach that. And candle focus is quite powerful. It opens parts of the mind that I wouldn't encourage people doing unless you know what you're doing or why you're doing it. Gratitude meditation, I'd encourage everyone to do, just to be more grateful for the simplest things we have, running water, sunshine, smartphone, whatever it is, breakfast, a few quid just to get through the day, just to be grateful for the smallest and simplest things. For me, it took a long time to actually start to feel gratitude. I could list off in my mind all the things I'm grateful for, but I didn't really feel anything. And I just stuck with it, and it probably would have been a few months before I actually really started to feel it. And it's a great feeling. It's powerful. It's something I think that the Western world, we all could do it a little more. The apps on the phones, anyone can use. Mantras, anyone. Sun gazing, again, I wouldn't recommend it. You kind of need just to have a bit of guidance and a bit of practice to know what you're doing, for obvious reasons. It's the UV levels can be very strong during the day, so it's just morning and evening, and it is very powerful as well, very beneficial. Yeah, a lot of misconceptions about meditation. A lot of people think they can't meditate, or they're doing it wrong. Maybe their mind is racing, or they're fidgety or restless. You might feel emotional, you might want to cry, you might feel angry. That's part of meditation. The idea of being, having no thoughts or being blissfully happy is what we're trying to get to. Meditation really is being still and being open to guidance, or open to whatever it is that you need to learn in that moment. So for me, I kind of consider there's no such thing as a bad meditation. Try to let go of thoughts. Thoughts will constantly come. That's okay. You just become aware. Gradually over time, you become aware you're thinking. You can steer your mind away from thoughts back to the present, and I'll give direction on how to do that. Having a racing mind or being fidgety or stressed or angry or whatever is not wrong. It's just a release. Maybe the body is releasing energy. Maybe there's stress in the mind that just needs to be released and processed. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. So I would suggest try not to overthink. Just do it. I do liken meditation to going to a gym, although I don't go to gyms myself. But people who go do not, they don't come out and say, I had a good session in January, in the second week, and this happened or the bad set. They just go. And it's the same with meditation. Just do it. Just keep doing it. Don't analyze it too much. You'll know over time what you have to look at, and you might be guided to deeper meditations or longer or shorter or different techniques. And that's great. You'll know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But it can bring up pain, and you can feel physical pain or stress release. But that's okay. That's part of the process. The body and mind does need to relearn, for some people, to be still. Some will obviously find it quite easy. Some will find it quite difficult. Usually those who find it easy at the start then find it difficult in time. So you might start with these meditations and think, this is simple, this is great, this is relaxing. But most likely in time you'll begin to feel restless or uncomfortable or impatient. And that's part of the process. You've got to try and get through that. You've got to stay with it. The mind really needs to be reined in. We have very short attention spans. We don't like to sit still. We want to be distracted and occupied. So meditation is going counter really to what the monkey mind wants to do. And the solutions and the answers and the guidance are not in thinking. We think all the time, and it can cause a lot of stress. Inspired thought or guidance, higher guidance, intuition is in stillness. It comes through stillness, not through over-analysis. The setting is important. Ideally a quiet room, quiet place, bedroom, living room, whatever. But not essential. I would suggest that the priority is to do the practice as opposed to having an excuse and saying, well, I'm not at home, or there's people in the house. Or so it's also good to get experience with different locations. That if you meditate, say, on a train and have people around you, you'll start to learn that you create a sanctuary in those few minutes of stillness, and you forget about people around you. It doesn't matter that there are people around you. And if you can get to that stage over time, then you'll find that when you do get to the mountaintop or the beach or the park or wherever, that you'll really tap into that quiet energy, and you'll notice a comparison, a difference. So I think it's good to just experience different places. It doesn't always have to be in the solitude of a quiet home or on the top of a mountain, or do it wherever. So what I'll teach is pretty much the foundation of what I've done for years. I'm not teaching something I don't do. It would suit a beginner, experienced, intermediate, whoever. There's always something more to learn. You'll know yourself if it interests you or if it's for you. Stillness, that's all it is, just about being present and observing. Okay, so one last point. I have outlined some of the challenges, to put it nicely, of meditation. Stress release, you got to find time to do it. You might have aches and pains. You might be practicing on a busy train or an airport or whatever. So why bother? And if you've got this far, the chances are you're either curious if you're looking for something else. So the obvious answers are maybe you sleep better, stress release, help your mind to process whatever energy or whatever subconscious issues are going on, calmer, more creativity. And they will usually come in spurts, so you might get times where there's nothing much happening. You just keep meditating. And then you'll get times where you have insights and you have great meditations and things are happening. There's a lot of energy, a lot of, things change pretty fast. So just stick with it. Then there are the deeper reasons. If you're seeking something more, if you're looking for more information, if you want to know what you're doing here. And that's why I've meditated all these years, that I want to know what's going on. I want to know who I am, where I've come from, what I'm doing here, if here exists. Is this real? Is this a film? Do I exist? Do any of you exist? I wonder about all these things. I wonder about the ancients, the Egyptians, or people healing themselves, healing each other, leaving their bodies, different dimensions, different planes, astral planes, astral travel, demons, different entities. Do all these things exist? Is it possible to leave the body? Is all this nonsense? Is it all just bullshit? Is it all New Age crap or religion. And I've got answers to a number of those questions, and I've experienced a number of those things. And I suppose as time goes on, I realise more and more you can read all these books, and there's fascinating stuff about demons and other dimensions and leaving the body. Wonderful, but I don't really care about that stuff anymore. I want to experience it. And meditation for me has been a foundation to experience some of these things, or find the practices or the people that can help me experience these things. So more and more I want experience. I want to feel better. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's irrelevant that someone says it can be done or it can't be done. I want to know myself. I want to experience it myself. So that's what I'm in search of. And the day-to-day doesn't particularly fulfill me. But I think by doing these practices, it grants us a deeper peace. You know, it fills that void, that hole of whatever it is we're looking for, of who we are. And then it's easier to live in the world. It's easier just to go to work or, you know, do the day-to-day things. Then there's more purpose, or there's more reason. Because I'm no longer looking to be fulfilled in the material world with the new phone or the new shoes or whatever junk it is. Not that there's anything wrong with that stuff. I think we were born into a material world. We're here to experience materialism. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is when we start seeking fulfillment in it. Fulfillment is not in consumerism. But it's nice to enjoy these things. It's no harm. So I hope that gives a bit of perspective all around, and I hope it is of use to people. And let me know if it is. So that's it. Enjoy. Thanks. Bye.